Welcome to the world in 30 seconds. I'm your host, Lucy, and today we're diving into something we all know and love, but may not know much about: our favorite morning drink, coffee. What if I told you that the very future of your favorite morning brew is under threat from something far more insidious: climate change? We have Dr. Antonio Rodriguez on the show, a climatologist and researcher specializing in agricultural impacts of global warming. Dr. Rodriguez, thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure, Lucy.
Dr. Rodriguez, when we talk about climate change and coffee, what exactly are we talking about? It sounds a bit abstract.
It's a great question, Lucy. Think of coffee plants like us. They have their preferred temperature ranges. For the best quality coffee, especially Arabica, which is what most people enjoy, they thrive in a very specific climate. We call this the coffee belt.
The coffee belt? So it's like a geographical zone?
Exactly. It's a band around the Earth, roughly between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. Within this belt, you have the right balance of temperature, rainfall, and altitude for coffee to grow well. But here's the problem. As global temperatures rise, this ideal zone is shifting and shrinking.
Shifting and shrinking. So the places where coffee has always grown perfectly might not be suitable anymore?
Precisely. Imagine a cozy blanket. For coffee, that blanket is a specific temperature range. As the planet warms, that blanket is getting too hot and the edges are shrinking. Farmers in traditional coffee growing regions are finding that it's getting too warm, too dry, or too wet for their crops to produce the high quality beans we're used to.
That's fascinating. And a little alarming. So what are the specific impacts of this warming on the coffee plant itself?
Well, higher temperatures can stress the plant, affecting its growth and the development of the coffee cherry. It can also make coffee plants more susceptible to pests and diseases that thrive in warmer conditions. Think of it like a fever for the plant. It weakens it and makes it vulnerable.
So it's not just about the beans tasting different, but the plants themselves struggling to survive.
Absolutely, and this directly impacts the quality. The nuanced flavors, the aroma, the acidity, all of these characteristics are highly dependent on the specific environmental conditions during growth. When those conditions change, the resulting coffee can be less complex, less flavorful, and frankly, less enjoyable.
I've heard that some farmers are having to move their farms to higher altitudes to escape the heat. Is that a viable long-term solution?
It is for some, but it's not a simple fix. Higher altitudes often mean steeper terrain, making farming more difficult and expensive. Plus, there's only so high you can go before you run out of suitable land or encounter different environmental challenges. It's like trying to find the cooler spot in your house, but you can only move to the attic, and eventually even the attic gets too hot.
That makes sense. So if the coffee belt is shrinking, does that mean we'll eventually run out of coffee?
Running out completely is unlikely in the immediate future, but the availability of high-quality coffee is definitely at risk. We might see a future where your favorite single origin pour-over becomes a rare luxury, and the coffee you can easily find is of a lower quality. It's a gradual shift, but a significant one.
This is quite a sobering thought. I'm picturing my morning routine without a good cup of coffee, and it's not pretty.
I understand. It's a global issue that touches our daily lives. And it's not just about the taste, it's about the livelihoods of millions of farmers who depend on coffee for their income.
You know, I was reading about how some coffee varieties are more resilient than others. Is there any hope in breeding or developing new types of coffee?
That's a very important area of research. Scientists are indeed working on developing more heat-tolerant and disease-resistant coffee varieties. It's a bit like finding a superhero coffee plant that can withstand the heat wave. But it takes time, and it's a race against the clock as the climate continues to change.
So it's a multi-pronged approach: adapting farming practices, exploring new regions, and developing resilient varieties.
Exactly, and consumer awareness plays a role too. Understanding where your coffee comes from and the challenges faced by farmers can encourage support for sustainable practices and fair trade initiatives.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez, for shedding light on this crucial issue. It's a lot to take in. Climate change is reshaping the crops we depend on, and addressing this requires adaptation, innovation, and awareness. Thanks for listening. Until next time.